Hold up, does this mean I might have a Motu figure that Pixel Dan doesn't have? Never thought I'd be able to say that, but I'm not complaining. The Walmart exclusive Turtles of Grayskull Krang comes out on March 15th, and Mattel was kind enough to send me this free sample to check out, so let's take a look at it. Of course, all Motu figures are known for their great artwork. We got the purple and green motif on the front, and on the back we have our brand new Krang battling Raphael. You're going to need to see this in hand to truly appreciate the detail of this artwork, but pause to read a little bit more about the history of the character. Enough with the box talk, let's check out what's inside. First thing you'll find is this really nice looking collector's card. This is what they've done for the exclusive figures so far instead of the comic book, and I think they're pretty neat. This figure is a cross between Krang and Megator from the Motu line, and while he doesn't seem like as well known of a character as some of the others they've used so far, I think he's a great choice to team up with Krang. Of course we get a nice little Krang holder. The door opens really easily and you can see the little perch inside for Krang, and some nice brown stone detailing all around. Quick look at the Krang figure itself. It's a little bit smaller than I expected it to be, but once you get it in the body it looks really nice. It's overall pretty squishy, including these really long tentacles, but it does go in really easily. I found it best to stick the tentacles through the door first and then close it up, and it seemed to work without problem every single time. For weapons, you get this really nice ball and chain. I really like the paint they chose to use on this, and it's actually a little bit squishy, so I don't think you're going to hurt anything. The battle axe looks really nice as well, but compared to the ball and chain, I do wish it had just a little bit more paint. I really like how the figure has a ton of nods to the original Krang android figure. Every time I look at it, I notice more details that remind me of that original robot body. We got the red feet and hands, the chain suspenders, and we get a little antenna-sized tuft of hair on top instead of the long flowing locks of the original Megator figure. But of course, you knew he wasn't going to stay in that state for long. We got to add that Krang in there. The torso popped off with ease, and I was able to put that Krang carrier in with no problem. Latch on the legs, and looks like we're ready to roll. Now that really completes the Krang android look. Definitely looking really good. I was pretty surprised how much could move on this figure. I don't think we've ever gotten a Krang android that has waist articulation, and you can actually move it above and below the Krang carrier. I was able to get the arms to do pretty much whatever I wanted them to do, but the legs are a little bit limiting in comparison. Android Krangs aren't really known for their dance ability, so I don't think you'll run into too much of a problem. Overall articulation is a thumbs up. Next, we'll talk a little bit about customization. Of course, you can pop off these hands and put on the new weapons. I had to work them a little bit, but definitely didn't need to heat them up. We'll start with the axe in first with this hand, and then we got the old ball and chain hanging in the other one. Both of them looking pretty good. Anything that makes displaying the figure with the accessories easier, I am definitely a fan of. Now, this whole line is known for its swappability, and I was really hoping we could get a little crossover action with this Mouser, but if I would have just taken a quick look, I would have seen the peg holes just really don't line up, so this one's a miss, unfortunately. But you know who else has green skin and might just make a perfect swap? Unfortunately, the color doesn't quite match, and it looks pretty darn ridiculous, but I still like it anyway. Ultimately, he looks a lot better with that Megator face, and they make a perfect team to catch those blasted turtles. This new figure is definitely the biggest in the line so far, which is how I think it should be. He definitely towers over the turtles, being 7.9 inches tall, and I think that difference is really appropriate. Here he is looking humongous next to mutated He-Man. Unfortunately, I don't have the Shredder to compare, but I do have the previous exclusive figure, Mousejaw. Krang is definitely a lot taller and has a lot more paint detail, which I really like. Hopefully they continue this trend with new figures. The Turtles of Grayskull Krang will be part of the Wal-Mart Collector Con that's starting up on March 15th, and you'll be able to do the pre-sale that day. After that, be on the lookout for him in Walmart stores near you. If you're already in on this line, I think this one makes a great addition, and if you're just a Krang collector, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this one either. Thanks for taking the time to check out the new Turtles of Grayskull Krang with me, and thanks to Mattel for sending it over for review.
Now be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe.